we'll go around. Actually, we can go through the shop. The link might be a little bit bad through here, but we got lots of fun new stuff. Karl will meet us out in a little bit. Hi.
Hello.
YouTube. I'll show in the shop on the way out. Some a little delayed start. Let's turn it around. Look at this over there. It's not every day you have a Viking like that stroking his beard in your shop. I was thinking about looking at the clothes, but you weren't looking so bad yourself, handsome. Oh, I was gonna say, look, we got lots of clothes from Taya on the wall and pre-cut fabric and some needlebind. There's Mervy's book. We got lots of those in. We got an accidental delivery of twice as many, so we have lots to last. We got these ones in from Susan Broma. If you haven't seen them before, I did not get the needle binding one though, because we have a lot of needle binding books already from Maria. So we see some more eye candy before we go out. Hey, hey. Okay, Arnold. You want to say hi? Audra is on here already saying hi. She recognizes you. Hello. Did you get yourself some bling? I got that one too. Look, look, look. I'm not wearing mine today, so we have to show it off. Whoop, there we go. Bright light. There, now it's focusing on you. It's a snake that goes all the way around. Good taste. I just got that one.
Yeah, I was looking at it, but it's a bit tight.
Yeah.
I can open it, but I'm afraid to.
Yeah, as long as you can get it on.
The bronze one are locked, so I can't.
Yeah, I know. I liked it, and I saw the bronze one, and I thought, no, I can't get it because it's locked, but the silver ones aren't.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll find. We have lots of bling to choose from. We'll find something.
I know, and I got some money to burn.
You got money to burn, yep. Yep, we had a photographer here yesterday, so they got paid to be on camera. Let me show you some more things here. Yep. Kristen has been plant dyeing. Textile Hexa. Everything looks so much brighter in the store, but it's a little bit washed out because the lights are so bright. These are with nettles. This is with woad, but second bath. This is woad first bath. Look at the pretty colors. So Anne, if you're on Anne Monroe, that's the two colors of blue we have. But she also has woad and nettles. So you get this kind of a blue-green look. So there's different ones to choose from. And then we have a little bit of our troll yarn and the local yarn from our land. And more things. And then little plant dyed embroidery. Lila's coming this week to color some more for us. And machine dyed embroidery. And some of mine, they've been selling, so I don't have very many left. And this is quite cool. This is me who makes these, MY. There's this one, I think there's one behind it too, and another one further over there. She makes them with a lucite and then sews them together to make coasters, but they're really, really thick and they're like stiff. How does everyone? Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. I saw that. Ashley wrote, how the heck does everyone get dark blue? I always get blue, green, or light teal. Good question, and we'll need a textile hexa. But we can ask that one to Lila when she's here next week. Yep, and so Anne, if you want me to set aside some of that blue for you, let me know. Because she made about, I think she did a total of 27 skeins of everything. So I'm not sure how much of it is woad, but give it a rinse when you get it because my fingers were blue when I was scanning it for her. Oh yes, and don't forget to press like, says Audra. Like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. Okay, we can go out in the village now. Oh yeah, there's more sheep. Sheep from the sheep. These ones, okay, this is the werewolf sheep I was talking about. They look so weird on the, oh, I can show you price. Yeah, the plant dyed yarn is 300 kroner, which is, what, 30 euro? And the regular yarn is 149 or 150 for the plant. That one is, yeah, So I had such a dark black background because I didn't have my gray background with me, and so we decided they look like nighttime, so hollowing at the moon. So they're were sheep. And there's some of the regular type sheep I make. Something to do if you, with the spun wool. He's a fat one that sheep's been eating. Okay, we'll go out of the shop now. Yeah? No. Yeah. I go in the other way. Okay, let's go find a place out of the rain. I'm gonna try to sit on my stoop at the textile house today. You can see there's some steps, or some tents are set up now. They have been arriving last week and this week, and some more next week. Ooh, it's a cold rain too, by the way. Who's hitting the high of 15 I saw? That's probably about what we're at. But look how nice and green it looks when it rains. And then, Tova's here. She's got her bunnies and stuff out. We'll have to take a look. Oop, sorry, too fast. That's a Georg. I'm showing off tents and a chieftain pops out. I'll have to look later when Tova's here. So, yeah, we're having a little bit of rain. Right now we just closed, so people are running to the store because the store closes at 6 o'clock as well, the grocery store. And then they're going to have a little feast. Hi! They're going, because it's Saturday, so the Saturday the village is full, we fire up the grill. And then they have a DIY Gilda. Gilda would be a Saturday feast. So if it's not too dark, we can sit outside my house today. Let's see. Hi, Karl.
Hey.
Sit with me.
Did you bring beer, or is that something I have to do when I come to bother you and about?
I brought you 2 beers, but where's your cup?
I don't have my cup yet because I'm not really coming for first half hour because I want you to talk about textiles.
I am. I'm going to play with the Arboga stitch. So we're going to do Arboga stitch. While you're looking very creepy in the shade, go get yourself a glass and then I'll get you some beers after. I got you 2 interesting beers.
I don't like that smell. I am having trepidations.
But don't the waterfalls look beautiful over your wet head?
Yes, because when I'm this wet, I really want to stare at water.
Water is wet. Run along, get your glass. We're going to play with the Arboga stitch, Karl.
The stitch.
Arboga stitch. I want to hear some nice things. I want to hear at least one good question you had from the Vikings, from the tourists this week. You've got some time to think about it. Go, run along. Shoo. Okay. Let's see. Then I'll give you a wonderful view of my shawl. Nice, sorry. My rock. Okay, Arboga stitch. The summer temperatures are why we start races before sun rises, Anna. That's right, she's in the desert over there in Arizona running fast. Oh, this is what I did today. I wrapped, oh, thank you. I can actually show a little bit better. It's alpaca, so I'm a little Viking cheating today. But it's nice and warm. If I turn it back. This I did today. I took some of the yarn that I spun off the spindles. Have you seen one like this, a nitty naughty? It's a little questionable, as if this, we know that a horizontal version of this was used in the Viking Age, found in Oseberg, but I don't know if the vertical one exists. I was lucky enough to find this one at Antique, or secondhand anyway, so it wasn't that expensive, but it's been on display in the village. But this is what I do with my yarn when I'm done with it on a spindle. Because it's raining, I don't even have to wet the yarn first. I just wrap it around. You have the yarn go up through here, over the rivets on the top, through here, and then onto this, and then you wind it like that. And when it's full, you have skeins like this, this is actually twisted up, but it's twice as long. And these I've made ready for Lila, who is coming on Monday, and she'll start plant dyeing, and hopefully she'll have some plant dyeing for us on next Saturday to see as well. And we'll have to ask her that question about the blue. But I've got yarn ready for her. This is just 3 of them, but I've skeined tons for her to color. Okay, let's try this again. Arboga stitch, and then have to say hi to everybody too. Let's see. Playing with the same familiar wool. My weirdly plant dyed wool. Okay. Aren't you supposed to dye in hanks? Yep, these are. This is, I usually when I dye, I'll leave it twisted up like this, but loosely. Because I wanted to kind of tie dye so that the color on the outside gets dyed more than the color on the inside per se. But yep, when Lila dyes, she will leave it like that in the water so it gets more even. Of course, then you got to make sure that it's sort of gone through here a couple of times because, and not this tight, because otherwise you'll get a white line right there or wherever you've tied it. But yeah, so that's why. So right now, I don't know if you've ever seen how to do that, but if you haven't, it'll just be over. If you have, it's just overkill. So you grab it by each ends, pull tight, and start twisting around and around and around. Yeah, tie-dye makes such a really nice effect on yarn. Okay, so you get it pretty good twist tight. Then you have this one around this finger, that one around that one, but you're going to open this one up, and you're going to eat the other end and pull it through. And that's how you get these skeins, so that it doesn't get ripped up and shredded while it's in your basket. But if I have it too tight, then the color won't get in the middle. Okay, so let's see who's here first while you play at my beautiful Arboga stitch. This is Arboga right side. I can turn the camera down, maybe not. Try it again. There you go. That's Arboga right side, and I'll catch up on chat. Ta-da. Got 11 people here and 7 likes. You guys are being wonderful today. Garcia's here. It's 24. Oh my God, she's dying in Holland. It's not 24 here. Albert is here. Anne's here. Raymond's here. Susan in Frankfurt with thunderstorms. We didn't get thunderstorms here, but I guess just outside the area they probably did. Charlotte was here. I saw her in the parking lot when I was driving away on this Friday, I think. But she was supposed to be here, but due to an illness in the family, she missed us. So next time. 4 degrees Celsius where Raymond is, so definitely winter over there. Hot waddle bottle. I like hot waddle bottle. I hope that wasn't a typo. Hot waddle bottle Teddy in bed with me again. Oh, so nice. And Lear is here, hot and humid in Kansas. And you've been dyeing all kinds of plant colors, and I just showed you Kristen's blue. Audrey says, hej, jag måste väl gå igenom räcker och vidvin eller vara här. 19 grader och sola. Audrey had to make the difficult decision of having shrimp with white wine or to be here, but it's at 19 degrees in the sun. Oh, I'm so glad she came to play with us. We're worth it. Anne Moreau is working on her dollhouse clothes. Oh, the tunic for the baby is 3 centimeters high. Luckily, I found a tiny needle. Oh my God. We did get historical needles for the store. They are not the cheapest thing, by the way, but they're, I'll have to show them maybe next week. We're going to try to make sewing kits out of them because it's a lot of money to spend for just one needle, but because we cannot find them very easily, that is what it is. So if they really, really, really want a historic needle, we have some. They're in copper, iron, brass, and bronze. They're sewing needles. Max is here, and Lindsay's here, and Nella's here, Torun's here. She accidentally logged in on the nick of time. Good job. I know I was late putting up the link again. But people. Stupid hot in Dallas today, says Lindsay. Rainy in Bergen, says Charlotte. We were there on Tuesday, actually. It was rainy. It's always raining in Bergen. And then, yep. So Anne's excited about the blue wool. Let's see. Ann Taylor's in Central Arizona. Nella says, it is mostly about the vat. Oh, the blue. It is mostly about the vat, how it is made, and how the chemicals like each other. If it turns green, there is something wrong with the vat. It could be the temperature, it could be the pH. I know that this one, she's definitely dyed with the vinegar in the pot with the color because it does have still a bit of a vinegar smell to it. If Kristen is here, she will be here again at the end of the month. If she happens to be here on Saturday, we'll get her and she'll ask. I know she does it in a copper pot though. Let's see. Teleport gate to Gudvangen. Oh, we all need that. Bunnies! I like that. Ooh, bunnies, 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 bunnies. Everybody's happy about Okay, Arboga stitch. And I think I am pretty close to catch up. Okay. All right. Arboga is another turning stitch. We've been doing turning stitches the last 2 weeks. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I thought this was a good way to do it. This one, instead of going through one and then turning the second one, this one actually turns right away. So you have, this is going to go over 3 loops. You have 1 on your thumb, 2 behind, like that. But this one is, the first one's going to get twisted. That's the twisted loop. And then you go through the second one, and then you go back through just like you would in the finished stitches. And that's Arboga. So I did that one real quick. But so when it's called, the way you spell it out would be then 1 plus twisted loop plus 1. So 1 plus the twisted loop plus 1. Oops, I'm out of my fingers here. Sorry, 1 plus the twisted loop plus 1. And that's Arboga. And I don't want to do too many stitches because I was thinking about starting a hat. Whether I finish it or not is another thing, but I have these little round starts. Sometimes they end up as bags. So I'm going to do a disconnected join, and I probably have too many stitches for a round start. This is the front side of Arboga, and this is the technical wrong side of Arboga. It's a little bit more puffy. So to do the deconstructed round start, as I like to call it, if you have a long enough tail, you can go under all the front stitches. I think I showed this recently, but you can never show it enough times. Under and the bottom, through the bottom of all the stitches from the working end, like that. I'm gonna have too many stitches to start with, but then I just won't increase so quickly. Okay, so it's like that. Looks cool on the needle. And then before you pull it through, take your tail and thread it through. And then bring it through all the stitches. And you can do it more than once, you know, just to, there we go. Now you have a deconstructed round start. Actually, maybe it was enough stitches to start with. It doesn't seem to be bulging. So then I will put it back on my thumb. The first loop is the one on the end. This goes forward. First loop goes forward. Second loop. That's the third loop there, but I have to grab it from this side. So second loop, third loop. There. But I'll connect. So I'm going to grab a couple of stitches on the end, then twist the second loop, go through the third, but I forgot to thread my needle. That's stupid. There. Ta-da. Oh, I can smell they already lit the barbecue up already. I got my tail stuck. That's good. We pull it through later. So twist the second, go through the third, and back from. I know Ingela, I think it is Ingela Anderson, and some others really like this stitch and use it a lot. I think I'm going to do F2, by the way, which is one new, one old. Just because my yarn is thin. I have to zoom out. I'm like really zoomed in here. So who's made stuff with this stitch? I think it's actually not wavy enough. I'm going to do 2 in every, and then rejudge it on the second row. I have used this stitch before. I think I made a pair of socks out of it. Oh, no, I'm pretty sure, I think it's Ashley, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was Lindsay. One of the two have got the hat that I made in it. I'm just going to get that tail back on the right side of the something like that, of the work. Of the hat that I made out of it, I made a hat out of Malabrigo. It's somewhere down on Instagram. Oh my God, I'm horrible. I need to post more, but literally has not had the time. So that'll be a winter project. Now that there's a little less moving back and forth from one side of Norway to the other. There we go. And then look at that a bit. We'll tell Karl he can come out for some beer, and I'll catch up a little bit more on chat. Let's see. Ta-da. Yeah, it's a nice, easy. It's not such a bad stitch considering all the twisting, but it makes a nice fit. And this is DK weight, as you saw. You could even do worsted weight. It's not super thick. Let's see. Raymond walked to the craft store this afternoon, about 7 kilometers round trip, and got some wool. Started a new project. You cannot go to the craft store without buying wool. Good job. Nella said there shouldn't be vinegar in the indigo vat. But it's not indigo. She used woad. But it should be neutralized with vinegar after rinsing and washing. All I know is she sent me a message that day to go pick her up some vinegar, and they didn't have the super strong stuff. So it might literally have just been a B8, something to balance out the pH. But it does have a little bit of a vinegar smell to it, so I don't know if she needs to rinse it one more time through. And Karin Oker's here from Minnesota. Canada is sending us gifts again. I hear. There was rumors had it we should have been able to smell it over here soon, but I haven't yet. I hear Iceland is erupting, though. That we should see. Raymond said, I did that deconstructed start this afternoon, but finished 2 + 2 with F2. I do that one with finish 2 + 2 F2 all the time. You're attempting to make a canteen bag, says Raymond. Yep, something to cover a bottle, I imagine. How's your sweater going, by the way? Did you cut it? Did you finally do it? He sewed the band on, and it looks beautiful, by the way. I am a big fan of making the band first, and then sewing it onto instead of picking up off the fabric and then making a band when you're doing a cardigan or something with a band around it. And that is because if you're picking up, let's say, for example, let's say this is the side of your work. Actually, I can't. If you were picking up along here, it would match. But when you're picking up on the side rows, it might not match, and you might end up with a really, really wavy band. So if you saw my hood tutorial, it's a bit like that. Then I make the band first with Oslo, and then I sew it on to avoid having a wavy edge. Is the way you turn important left to right in Arboga? Let's check. Yeah, this would be, because if you don't, you'll end up with a really big loop. So you would, let's connect first. Just have to see if I need to increase. I do. So I don't like it when people do this, but I'm going to pull your needle all the way through so you can see better. Okay. So when you take it, you can turn this way. If you turn the other way, it's going to be a bit awkward for a right-hander at least. So you'd have to turn it that way. And then pick up the third, which is hard to see while hugging a camera. There. The third one, and then back again. Every time I teach a class in needle binding, there's always one person who is going to want to do the connection first and then pull the yarn through and then try to finish. But usually they'll get messed up somewhere around there. I will do that sometimes if it's really close quarters, or if I'm trying to tilt my arm over enough so you can see something. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. I usually have to tell them, nope, pick it up and do it in one movement. Because it'll also change your gauge doing it that way. But if I'm making an Easter egg, when I make Easter eggs, then I have to try to, when I'm getting to the top of the Easter egg and it's actually being bound on the egg, then I need to make sharp corners. So then I will actually pull the needle all the way through and then finish the stitch. But I don't recommend it otherwise. I see lots of Vikings going back and forth to the party. They're going indoors today because cats and dogs rain. That didn't stop the tourists, though. We had quite a few tourists today. Lots from all over the world. I had a very interested half British, half Norwegian family. I was showing them how to use the nitty knotty, so they happily wound all my yarn for me. Let's see, what else am I missing? Max has done Arboga stitch before, but used F2 to make things easier since using F1 would be very loose. That's exactly why I chose to go with F2 on this one. Although it looks a little loose, this second row, but that's because there's so many increases. But it'll even out. Oop, I keep throwing that too far away. I'm also using a very thin needle. This is a weaver's needle. It's like a really long darning needle. But for some reason, when working with finer stitches with this yarn, it just slides like butter. I have a bone needle that's pretty thin as well that I like for this. So Raymond says, my cardigan is all finished. I put the pics on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, that'll teach me. I haven't been on Facebook in 2 days. 35,000 stitches, near 1 kilogram of wool, and over 100 hours. Congratulations, Raymond. Everybody, a round of applause for Raymond. Holy crap. The blacksmith sweater was easily a kilo of wool, but my stitches were bigger than yours. I used Oslo. You used, I think, Mommen, was it? Which is even more stitches. I have a little bit of Mommen with me. Maxis, I've done that before, but it's too difficult for me to pick up the connection stitch. Yeah, when it's too difficult to pick it up, then you should then go ahead. Karl's here. He's ready. Yeah, you did Mommen. I have one thing in Mommen. It looks like similar yarn, but it's a little bit greener. That's my Mommen stitch one. Same weight, F2. That's the working right size. This is the wrong side. But you can see this one's kind of on the see-through side for DK weight, and this one will be much tighter because of the twist, but there will be little dots along between the rows. Yay! Party for Raymond. Raymond finished his sweater, Karl. Okay. Let me zoom out so we don't get sick. Oh yeah, he's got lots of mad props in there. And, I see I got some fibers. Where is that from? And Greg's socks up on the wall here, if I can turn it. Oops, I gotta recalibrate. There. Nope. My gimbal is not recalibrating. Greg's socks. He was supposed to tell us a story of the little twerp he left.
No, he's not. He's in the Freeman area.
He said he couldn't come out because he...
Gone.
Oh, it's the French girl. Congratulations to any French person. They had their Independence Day yesterday, or their celebration day. Marie was all excited because it's the first time there's been another French Viking in the village at the time to celebrate.
Yeah. It's their national day. It's not an Independence Day because those bastards have been independent since the fall of the Roman Empire.
This is why I have you, Karl. You're my fact checker. No, she was very excited. They were eating French food and they were doing French dances. Yes, with clothes on.
French dances with clothes on sounds so natural.
Yeah, well. Okay, you ready for your beer? And then I'll play with the stitch a bit more. We might need to sit somewhere with a table. Okay. When we went to Bergen, I found this on the way, and I've it. Turbo Pils, which means turbo beer, but just like a regular beer. Oh, it says Turbo Negro. Buy Turbo Negro. And you've got a duck and a pig and a police. By the way, my glasses came in today, but I haven't been able to pick them up. So, what do you think? Does this look good for Karl? It is Earl, Stark Earl. So I guess it says strong beer, but it's actually 4.7%. Who's this by? Well, it's translated to Swedish and Norwegian. Turbopils.com. Oslo, Norway. Okay. Good luck, Karl. I noticed we were very contrasting when we're sitting by the house. You spill that beer on my wool, I'll kill you.
Well, I was not the one shaking it.
I'm not shaking it, I just carried it in a basket. I moved my basket of wool. What do you think? Oh, it's got a pretty light color to it.
Yeah, but it's a Pilsner. I don't think I can fuck that up too hard.
No, Pils is just... What is a Pils exactly for Norway?
Uh, I'm not an expert, but I believe that Pils means that it is brewed in accordance to the laws of purity, which basically says you can't put any random thing you want into beer.
Says, good taste, good times, good head. For the foam, I guess. Okay,
You guess?
it's... That's right, I guess. Okay, see what you think. Lemonade?
It reminds me of the typical Danish beer like Tuborg.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it's a Pils.
Yeah.
It's just plain. Okay, well, then he'll survive that one. Anders Hovland, the guy with all the... Not the blacksmith, but the one with all the really cool tattoos. He walked by us yesterday as we were finishing, and he said, so you guys are taste testing beer on there?
Basically said, I didn't know you had beer. I want in.
This is the guy who doesn't like to be on social media at all. But he wants in to help Karl taste beer. He wasn't able to make it this week, but maybe he'll come next week and then we'll see. And if he drinks enough, maybe he'll show us his tattoos. No, but he's hilarious. You two ought to be fun. I don't know. He tried the beer you didn't like last week with some of citrus or whatever in there. And yeah, you're pretty much on the same page because he looked like he was going to... Well, he looked like he was gagging.
Yeah. No, his theory, and he might be right about this, is that the citrus taste is... it's like the banana. It's not actual banana. It just tastes citrusy when they fuck it up.
Okay. I'm going to flip. We'll look up here because it's a better view than my door. And then I can catch up on chat without breathing too heavily into the microphone. Okay. Let's see. What did Viking broomsticks look like? A broom handle on a Viking broom. I never thought of that.
I would
Oops,
say
sorry.
that any old stick would do. You might have some ergonomical demands of your broomstick.
May look
You
a little
want
more
it to be
witchy.
bent a little bit, maybe.
So you can ride it?
I so incredibly rarely sweep a floor that I don't really have any particular demands for broomsticks.
No, this is true. We officially moved Karl out of his old place that he hasn't been in for like the last 3 years. He doesn't sweep. But we used to vacuum. Anyway, but when people are making brooms here in the village, I wish I had one to show. When they make brooms here in the village, there will be oftentimes just any branch that they found in whatever shape it is, and then they'll remove the bark off of it sometimes, or sometimes they just leave the bark on, and then they just like fasten a whole bunch of loose branches around the bottom really tight, and that's what it is. But so that would be cool to see. I bet Anne need one for the dollhouse. But yeah, I guess I would just look for anything that looks like a witch could have wrote it.
Yeah, and I don't honestly think it matters a lot. There is a lot of... some tourists seem to think I'm the wood whisperer. So they come up to me with any kind of random things and go, what kind of wood would the Vikings use for this? And sometimes it makes sense.
Yeah.
Bow has to be of a particular type of wood.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Shaft for an axe or maybe a spear. Here are different demands, and it makes sense to choose some types of wood over others. But if you are talking about something like a knife shaft or a small decorative piece of wood of some kind, it genuinely doesn't matter. Whatever you have lying nearby, I guess.
What do you call is it a burl? I forget what it's called, but in wood, if the tree has like a cancerous growth or whatever, and it makes like a big bulb on the outside of the tree. I don't know what that is. It's an odd growth, not the cancerous one. I think that's actually...
It's a mushroom that causes the tree to grow like that.
Yeah, no, and that's the chaga. But the actual bump that isn't chaga in the tree. But and a lot of Norwegians will carve them and make bowls out of them or drinking cups. And
Yeah.
I forgot what that word is called anyway. But Heidi was on here. Heidi Lee said she might know. But that one makes really, really beautiful things when they carve out of it because it's got all these little twists and spins in the woodwork. Burl? I want to say burl.
No, that's not it.
Let's see. Ricula? Ricula? No, burl. Yeah, like Lindsay right. Okay, so burl, that might be the English word then. Maybe that's why I'm not remembering quite correctly. Okay, let's see. We'll look at wool. And the woad is looking sad this year. There is 2, 1, 2, and that's about all that survived this year in that little caged-in area. It turns out the chickens thought that would be a great place to sit, dig down, and clean their feathers.
So when it's not the sheep, it's the chicken.
Now it's the chickens. Yeah, I did not see that happening. So poor Lila's gonna wonder what happened to the woad. But if we can see it, if we zoom in really closely, I'll just get up and go closer. It is going to seed. Yeah, I'll get up and go closer. Yeah, no, so it was not a good woad year, but then we've always been telling people that it's a 3-year plant, and we're on, the first batch has gone 3 years now. So that might be why it might just be finishing off. Oh, no, it just fell over. That wasn't actually what I was just showing you. I was showing you a weed. Here's the woad. So you can see it's gone to seed already. So when all these are seeds, so we can when they're done, we can dry and plant and get some more new ones in there. It is a bit overgrown, but the chickens, well, it's actually really overgrown right now because of the rain we've had. But that's where the chickens have been scratching and scratching and scratching. And here's somebody just thought, isn't this Virginia's machine gun driftwood stick? From when, oh, you weren't there. It was Runa and Virginia and Mona and I. Anyway, and she decided this looked like a machine gun, so she went around killing Vikings with it. But how this ended up here, I don't know. Anyway, that'll be decorated on a house. So there you go. There's the woad. It's pretty sad looking. There's I think it's just 1. I thought there was 2, but maybe we're down to 1. But these are leaves. This is woad. It just didn't go to flower this year. So we have some. But Lila will be a little upset. There's Karl sitting on the stoop. Do you want to come out in the light a bit more, maybe, Karl, since it's not raining so much? Are you happy on the stoop? On the cold stoop? Okay. And then I'll catch up more on chat. Look, waterfalls. It's not the worst view in the morning out of this house, I gotta say. Raymond says, I think it said good head near the rim of the can. It did say good head. It just wasn't what I was expecting to read. Lyra says, my woad is also sad this year too. See, can we blame it on chickens too? She said, I read the yellow flowers make yellow, but I'm too chicken to try. Oh, not a bad idea to try though. But yeah, I can see why you're too chicken to try, because you want it to go to seed. And so if you take all the yellow flowers away, then it won't make seeds. Funny sight, Karl behind the spinning thing. Okay, we have to view that again. Here, hide your... I'll take the can. You got your glass so I don't knock it over?
No.
The nitty naughty. You got matches there. You're ruining the view with modern matches. There he is. Karl, enjoying a beer. And spinning wool. Skull, Karl. This, by the way, is something we need. We have wood combs, but every time we do the wool through the combs, you're using mostly the long fiber, and you have these short fibers left over in the basket. We keep throwing it in the basket, but we need a carder for that. And I have to find a place, something that to base or find a way to make historical carders, because the short fibers are too... This needs to be washed more, I can see. But the historical carders, I don't know exactly what they would have looked like, but then we need something shorter than the combs to do the short fibers with. So for now, we take the basket away, wash it again, and run it through the carding machine, and then bring it back in again. But obviously we can't have a carding machine in the village. But the carders would look more, nowadays looks more like something you would brush a cat with. So I have to find we need to find a source for that. Here's that for you.
Cat brushing. That's going to be a monetary project.
Oh yeah, no, my cat's got big snarls. Does anybody have how do you shave a cat? Okay. Oh, look, Odin and his splitting headache has gotten more splitting. Do you want to tell the story of Odin and the splitting headache?
I don't remember it in detail. This is backup Odin.
Yeah,
that
this is
you made.
backup Odin, but why? Okay, start with original Odin. Why do we even make a backup? How did he get created? This one here, backup Odin.
Because the face fell off original Odin.
Yeah, after I don't know how many years.
Then Holger made the originals, and Holger only works here in the middle of the summer, like right now. So we needed a backup Odin. So Karin made this one.
Greg carved it. I painted it,
Yeah.
and then it started to rain some more, and the wood started to split in the middle, and then Holger came for the summer and made a proper Odin again. So they decided that backup Odin needed to go right across from my house here, because I talk so loud that he got a splitting headache.
So much that he got the split.
So much that he got a splitting headache. You're right. So that's why backup Odin is out here looking at this house. Knute, yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, Knute.
Knute, yeah. Let's see. So what have you guys been doing with your orange? Didn't we say orange was the red color of the month?
Why are you asking me, woman?
Because you're supposed to know these. Raymond knows. Raymond knows what color of the month is. He's got the whole list. But yeah, I think it's orange. I'm pretty sure it's orange because I was basing it off of the yarn that we got from when was it red? July. I think it was orange and then it was July. I think it was orange for June and red for July.
Shouldn't you be keeping track of this?
I fail. Somebody help me. What's the color of the month? I just wrote it in the description. Like, I think it's orange. I think it's orange today, this week, month. Anyway, how's your color of the month project going? I could just ask that way.
That's probably smarter.
So to see. Nella says, most likely carders wouldn't be period because spinning carded wool with a spindle is a royal pain in the ass. Yep. Can agree with you there, and is more suitable for wheel spinning. Anne Monroe says, use a carded wool, the top of the plant Dipsacus. Raymond says, Nalbinding color challenge. Here we go. Raymond, he keeps track of this crap. He's better than me. You're hired, Raymond. We'll pay you with another mountain. Or maybe a waterfall. Maybe a waterfall this time. We'll get him a waterfall. That should be hard to transport. Okay, so Nalbinding color challenge 2023. January was brown, February was blue, March was gray, April is green, May is yellow, June is orange, and July is red. Look at that, I remembered. So, how are your red projects coming along? That would be the better way to say it. And I'm sorry you can't have the waterfall on the left. That's Skjellfossen. And isn't that one in the middle there called, isn't that Lilla Skjellfossen? Which is Shell's waterfall and Little Shell's waterfall. So maybe you can have that one. I don't know. It's raining, so we're going to getting a lot more over there. Lyra says, I'm dyeing red yarn today. Perfect. Okay, so how are your red projects growing? Albert says, I'm on his way home from the bar. What did you have? Yep, and Torrin says the description today says red. See, I'm on the ball. Everybody knows what color it is except for me. Orange was red. Orange was June and red is July.
No.
He's on his way home. Why are you on the way home from the bar now? It's only 6 o'clock. Albert.
It says that he is either the most sensible person in the universe. No, we don't drink at night like the barbarians. Or he's the worst drunk in the universe because he has been drinking since yesterday evening.
Albert, you have a story. Albert, you got some splaining to do. Alira says Brazil wood and madder. Oh, she's dyeing yarn today. Brazil wood would be really cool to see. I know the madder was awesome. We had somebody using buckthorn here one year, and that one actually changed color too once it hit oxygen. I think it was Liga, and she used ash, like literally soot as well. But it was cold coloring, cold dyeing, and it started out like this really bright yellow, and then it started slowly turning orange, orangish red. Let's see. Turin says I'm making a red cord on my Lucid right now. There you go. Ram says I haven't.
Little worker.
I know my little worker's going that way, by the way. Now, that's twin too. There she goes. My little Gudvangen employees. They've been working hard at the cafe today. They got their first tip. My kid, the twin number 1, calls up and she says, Mom, some guy gave us 100 kroner. And she said, but your food didn't, wasn't, you paid enough for your food. And he says, no, I want to give you guys a tip. And she didn't know what to do with it. And so it was 50 kroner. He says, no, that's for you. It's 50 kroner each. Some guy from Italy gave him a tip. And I said, you say thank you, and you remember that it is rewarding to suck up to people. No, but I mean, that was really good. I said, congratulations. Some people still do that because in their custom, where they come from, it's a tipping culture. Norway is not a tipping culture. It's usually included in it, but people come here and they still want to tip anyway because, especially you, because your guiding is amazing.
Tip means something else to Norwegians.
Yeah.
Tip is like a money gift you give to somebody who goes above and beyond. Somebody who impresses your pants off, basically.
Ah, is that why you get so many tips?
Yeah, but I don't get it from the Norwegians.
No, you get them from Americans usually.
When I get it from the Norwegians, it's because I see the Americans doing it and think I also have to.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, yeah.
It has happened. I've gotten tips from Norwegians, but that is not common.
There we go. Some tents up there in the background. So this I gotta laugh at too, by the way. So Roger Fjallar is demonstrating how to wash wool. So he puts the dirty wool in a bucket of water. We need to change this water. But then he puts this stick in it, and I presume it is so that you can pull out the wool so you can see that there's actually wool in it. But every tourist that comes by grabs the stick and treats it like a butter churner and starts slamming the wool in there harder and harder and harder. And all it does is felt the wool when they do that. So I'm not sure if having a stick in the wool is such a good idea, but when you're washing your wool, do not agitate it more than you need to.
I used to stick to show the tourists that there is actually wool in the bucket. Because
yeah, that's what I thought.
The water is so dirty that...
You can't see it. Well, they got to just empty the water out and put new water in, though. But
I'm not doing that every guided tour.
I like this one. Lyra says, I thought it was a Viking mop. Oh, we need to make one of those. And then we can have huge conversations about which Viking mop is better for cleaning.
To do that, you would have to scalp Angela or somebody with hair like that.
Yeah, Angela's the chieftain's wife. She's got hair like Benji the dog. And this sounds like such an insult, but no, she actually coins that term herself. She's got hair like Benji the dog, if you're old enough to remember Benji. It's really good on her, by the way. So yes, you would need Benji the dog hair to do it. You're using the chieftain's wife to mop a floor.
So you're saying the chieftain's wife is an old English sheep person?
No! Jeez. Shame on you. Are you ready for beer number 2?
Yes.
Okay, because we're at minute 47, so you better get started.
Well, no, not entirely, but yes.
Okay, well, otherwise you'll have to have this one from the bottle, though. We found so many funky beers. So another one from Evanger, which was on the way between Gudvangen and Bergen, a little country store there, which has a lot of local things and weird candies and yeah. Anyway, I found this one. It's so contrasty under here. Hey, Ev! Fisketorget, if you can read it. There we go. Fisketorget. I thought, what about a Norwegian beer with a local fisherman on it?
Yes, because the Norwegian fishermen, particularly the ones from Bergen, are really famous for their brewery skills.
That's right. So, what is it, fishy? I don't know. Oh, the sheep agree. They're laughing over there. They're my neighbors, by the way. And I don't know if I can get that into view here. So you'll have to read a little bit about this picture that we're seeing in the background, Karl, before you drink your fisherman's beer. It's from Bergen. Bergen Bryggeri. Bergen. Bryggeri is brewery, by the way.
Smakfullt hveteøl I tradisjonell tysk stil, brygget for å gjøre krus på en klassisk del av bybildet I Bergen. Det lett og leskende, har lav bitterhet og livlige hint av citrus og krydder.
Oh God, you're gonna die. The word citrus, if anyone picked that up. Continue, Karl.
Som hveteøl flest kan også dette ølet ha et lite skyet preg, meaning cloudy. Akkurat slik som himmelen over vågen fra tid til annen har. Fisketorget lyst hveteøl en fruktig forfriskning I seg selv, og passer perfekt til blåskjell og retter av hvit fisk. serveres lett avkjølt.
I guess we're eating seafood today. Okay, translate.
Tasty wheat beer in traditional German style, brewed to pay homage to a classical part of the city image of Bergen. The beer is light and refreshing, has low bitterness, and a charming taste of citrus and spices. As most wheat beers, this beer might have a little bit of a cloudy substance, just like the sky over central Bergen from time to time has. The fisherman's market with light wheat beer is a fruity refreshment in and of itself, and also is perfect for blue shells and
Blue shells,
dishes
mussels, yeah.
made out of white fish. Serves somewhat chilled.
Well, it's kind of chilled. It's been outside. Okay. And then the picture on the front, is there any historical thing about that? Or the one in the back?
It is an old picture from the sea market in Bergen. I would guess this is from the 20s or 30s, considering how people are dressed. And,
Can we see it again? Because I don't know if it shows up better close. Yeah, maybe closer.
And considering that all the ships seem to have sails and probably no engines.
It's hard to tell because everything's so, yeah. It was quite cool, though, the history of it. Okay. And then you have just enough time to taste that and we see if you die or not. Who's betting if he's going to like it or not? There's citrus. I heard citrus, good for fish. That's why Vikings carry a scrum of sacks. Did you... Oh. It's okay, it survived. Alright. If you have any Viking question for Karl while he's here, by the way, I like the broomstick question, that was new. Oh, while he's pouring that, check out the mist on the waterfall. The little clouds are starting to peek up now.
Holy.
Oh, Karl! Look what he did.
It seems to have a very negative reaction to the residue of the other beer.
So, not a good head? The foam is all the way down to here. Okay, while you clean up your mess over there, we'll look at more misty waterfalls. Hi, Olaf! Okay, we shouldn't have done that. Look at Karl. Did it just foam in your mouth?
It exploded as soon as it touched my lips.
What does that say about
beer
you?
is, to put it gently, somewhat over-carbonated.
Is it fishy?
I
There's
don't
something fishy about that
I
beer?
don't taste anything wrong with it, but I can only taste the foam, so who knows? The fish is probably at the bottom.
I don't know if you could see this, but look. How much head on that beer? Oh, your snobble's got a little beer in it, though. And that's after settling a little. Okay, Karl. There's something fishy about your beer. Did you even get to taste it, or was it just suds?
This is not normal.
It has a temperament, says Albert. Yeah, I would say it has a temperament. I don't know, but I've never seen this fishy beer before.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah.
this is my theory.
Yeah?
Whenever a brewery is making something that is horrible,
Yeah?
they will put a funny label on it or give it a funny name, and people like Karin will buy it.
Of course I will buy it. It's YouTube friendly if it's funny. Nella says, by the way, carters are assumed to be invented during the 13th century, so about 10 or 100 to 20, or 100 to 20, 100 to 200 years after inventing the spinning wheel. So that's not going to work for us, because the spinning wheel is just after the Viking Age. And what would you do then in the Viking Age to deal with? Because we know they separated the long fibers and the short fibers, but how would you do the short fibers? And that must be, I mean, just hand fluff them and then spin them, or
I can only speculate.
can
Smaller
only
combs,
speculate.
maybe?
Smaller combs? Yeah, maybe, but you would need more than like 8 nails sticking out of it. Or what do we have, 10 on ours? 8 or 10 they're put away. But, okay. Let's see if you can have anything other than foam when you drink that thing. The birds are laughing at you.
It's weird because it tastes kind of flat. That might be because absolutely all the carbonation just went out of it immediately as soon as it was poured.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that is me being incompetent or if it is made like that by design.
Yeah? All right, give it another go.
It's kind of uninspired flat beer.
It looks like water with foam.
Like, water with
It's
foam.
dishwater. That's what it is. It looks like dishwater where you just, you just poured in the soap and.
Yeah, I don't think this is something that I would buy under normal circumstances.
So no fishy beer for Karl. But you got to admit the label was definitely YouTube worthy. It's a fisherman from Bergen. So.
Yeah.
And it's named Fisketorget, which is the name. If you go to the docks, what is it, Brygger?
This is
Bryggen, which is the docks anyway in Bergen. There's the fish market, which is what Fisketorget means.
This is the weirdest thing about Bergen. Yes, they had an area in the city that was meant to sell fish, and that area has been there for a very long time, probably back to very, very long ago.
Yeah, that could be the
But
Fisketorget.
the weird thing is that this is what they consider to be a tourist attraction. Look at all these people selling fish.
It was all fish and chips, by the way, but there were some people selling crabs and tanks of weird things in it.
Yeah, they sell all sorts of things there now, but it's usually sea products.
Can I just do this? It's been bugging me. All right, one more schluck and we should probably get going.
So,
Oh, I have to see the sun is hitting the waterfall just a little bit up there. Nope, it went away. Oh, I gotta dry in a little. Feels like one little spot in the back of my throat suddenly got dry, and all of a sudden I can't stop coughing.
no, it's not good.
No, next time Anders gets to join this, Anders Hovland. We'll see if he makes it.
It isn't horrible like some of the other ones, but it's just not. There is nothing with it to recommend it, so to speak.
It's so pretty up there. You could use it for filling, definitely. I agree with you on that one, Nella. I think they would have used it for filling. And we don't, if I understand correctly, there is no evidence in the Viking Age of felting. However, all you have to do is leave that wool like that, or like that over there, and it will felt. That one is actually already pretty felted. But just leaving it out will get felted, so I don't know, anybody who left their needle-bound socks out in the rain or something, or walked around in them, has figured out how to felt. So even though they haven't found any evidence of felting in the Viking Age that I know of, maybe they have, but deliberate felting.
That's the thing, because it boils down to how much evidence is there in total.
Well, here's a good one. Karin suggests maybe thorns poked through a wood or a bark, a few teeth to tease. That could work. One of those little burrs too that you find in bushes anyway. Those you could do that with it, but that wouldn't hurt.
If they did that, that would be a carder, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. It would just be a different kind of carder. Oops.
If there was any evidence for that, then there would be evidence for a carder.
Yeah.
So it is a way they could have done it, but we don't know if they did it. That's the issue, the way I understand it. This is textiles, so not my subject.
No, we'll have to look this one up. I think we just gave Nella homework too. Amro says, look up that plant. The name suggests that what it could have been used for, and that was the one I couldn't pronounce very well, or horribly tried to pronounce, by the way. Oh, I mixed a little something. Let's see. Dipsicus. I have to look that one up. More Vikings running back and forth. Let's see. No, I thought I saw there was one. Oh yeah, Albert said, by the way, he answered your question too. I forgot. I think it was a Guinness. There it goes. Me and Nina and a friend wanted to try out a bar, and I had a Guinness. Best way to test if it whether to do with their tap was well. If they do their tap well, that's why he was at a bar. But it's a vacation. It's Norway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then intentional felting, says Nella. There's tools to process linen or nettle that is like a carder, but due to the nature of the fiber, that wouldn't work on wool. Yeah. You could just do it, yeah, you can felt it intentionally just by, as Garcia writes, you can just do it by using your hands. You could felt it that way, and you can also just pull the fibers apart. It's this part of the wool, the short part of the inside. This is the part that goes next to the animal's skin, so it's much more soft. But yeah, you could just sit there and tease that a bit, and that would work. Card, a bull to card. Okay. Also, we've got something to look up here. Karl, we're at 61 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not happy with your beer selection?
I have been much more unhappy with it. Give a diplomatic answer.
We still have some more of the Belgian Duvel beer. As soon as you found out that you could find that one in the Vin Monopoly here, we bought a bunch. Do you need to switch to it? But it's not lemonade. I'm just saying.
I know. But that sounds like a good one for when Anders Hovland comes on.
Yeah, no, we should try him on that one, see what he thinks.
And we shouldn't drive him away by giving him weird crap. So
the weird crap could have been good. You never know. So next Saturday, same time, there will still be quite a few Vikings here as well. So Lila will be here coloring, so we'll see if we can get her to show her plant dyes as well. You're okay. It's not pointed at you. I like watching the Vikings try to hide with their contraband because it's after hours and they don't want it to get caught on film. It was pretty cool watching you try to hide that, though.
Nah, but he's just carrying butter.
Yeah, I don't know what he's carrying. A lot of Tupperware.
And the only thing I could recognize at this distance was a typical Norwegian shop pack of butter.
Oh, it's so big.
Big and green.
Big and green. Oh, that one. It's not real butter. Nella says, that's the tool for the linen nettle hemp. Okay.
That's
there you go. Lindsay says, don't they pull the wool off the sheep instead of cutting? So they might not have to, or so they might have had might not have had the shorter fingers anyway. I know that you can actually, then you could just literally go behind the sheep and just pull the wool off. But we do. We've been telling people that they have been shearing them the old-fashioned way, but I don't know if this is actually we've got some more textile work to do.
That's probably me being stupid, but I must have misunderstood something you just said.
Yes, you did. After a certain amount of time, like usually a year, just under a year or so, when the season starts to change, the wool naturally starts to separate from the sheep.
I know, I've seen it.
Yeah, and then you could literally go behind the sheep and just pull, and the wool will come off right on your fingers.
Yes,
it rubs itself up against the fences and trees and things to get the wool to come off.
I get it,
Yeah.
but from what you said, I kind of interpreted that you meant they had a race of people with shorter fingers that went behind the sheep and pulled off the wool.
Yep, that was for the really tiny Vikings.
I don't understand why you think that.
Don't know. Could be. No, the shorter pulls, not the shorter people pulling.
Well, you have to have a job for short people as well.
We're equal opportunity here. Let's see. There was a couple more though before. The Carden Bull was the so Carden Bull would be Lurveton in Norwegian. Oh, that was dandelion. Yeah. Albert says I will take some beer with me for Karl next time I'm over. Yay! Not the Rosa Sheen though. He doesn't like that one, Albert. No matter what you say, the pink one. Turin says the post of Sally Pointer I'm referring to was on her Facebook page on June 17th. Oh, I will check that out. Sally Pointer's got some really good stuff, especially with the nettles. She works mostly with Neolithic though, but she's got really good stuff. Sheep used to be self-shearing, but due to breeding, most sheep don't do that anymore. That's true. That's where they would just separate out naturally, and you could literally just pull it off. but whether they cut it because they were, you know, too lazy to, not too lazy, but too impatient to wait for it to come off, so they brought out the scissors.
Yeah. I don't know, but the breeding of animals was ongoing in the Viking Age. The sheep that the Vikings had were they were a lot tougher than the sheep we have today, but they were not wild sheep.
Do you still have the stick thing behind you that Holger made? Yeah, bring that out.
So the question is, if the sheep today is not self-sharing, and the wild ones were, then the question is, how many generations of breeding do you have to do to achieve this result?
Yeah. So Holger had made these for us based on some find, and it's you twist it up like this. That's okay, you're fine. So then we twist it up like that, and then push it on the top. But basically, the idea was to wrap, especially if it was carded already, the wool around and then pull it. You could attach it to your belt if you wore one, and then pull the wool out from here and then spin. But I would have put the short fiber carded wool around this thing, not the long pieces. So we're gonna have to look up that one now too. And then the tablet weaving band was just to hold the wool on there from falling off. Yeah, you can take that back now. A distaff, yep, that's a distaff. And even some of the spinning wheels that you find in the past actually have it, not from the Viking Age though, but had a little holder for those so that it could actually be mounted onto the spinning wheel and then you'd pull.
And as you see, it's pretty similar to the so-called Volvestav.
Yeah, it is actually at the top.
And I'm not an expert here, but the way I understand the concept is that when a Volvi uses magic, what she is actually doing is to spin the life thread of the person she is using magic on. So she is basically taking the role of one of the Norns and using her Volvestav to mess with the life thread.
By the way, yeah, there was an autocorrect in there, and I think Anne's got it right. I guess Lindsay meant fibers instead of fingers. And what did I write? What did I read? Hey, I read what I see, pal.
I like the idea of a short
Didn't they
finger.
pull the wool off the sheep instead of cutting? So they might not have had the shorter fibers.
Yeah.
Anyway, that works much better than short-fingered Vikings.
Yes.
It might be time to go. Did I miss everything at the end? Nella says 20 years of inbreeding made modern Finn sheep to be pretty primitive. Here as well.
Yeah. And to compensate for that, we did another 35 generations of inbreeding to get the shortest fingers we could get, so we had somebody who could cut the sheep.
But oh, isn't it great for the wool? Okay, I think it's time we go. Saturday, we don't have any collisions yet, so it should still be Saturday, 6 o'clock next week, too. And then maybe we get Anders Hovland to help you drink all your citrus fishy beer.
Nah, then we pick out some of the things I picked out at the Vinmonopolet, because we are both shopping like lunatics. She takes everything that has a funny name or a funny label.
I get a lot.
And I take everything that is over 8.5%.
At that one country store, I found at least 4 fun beers for you. By the way, Karin says Icelandic after lambing can be rolled off because of the stress in the fiber. I think they're onto something there with that one. Okay, we'll see you later. We're gonna get this thing figured out. Short fingers and all. They are kind of short. What can I say? Bye.